Hey everybody, it's Katie. I just wanted to sort of document one of the scariest things we've dealt with so far as parents. First of all, let me just say everything is okay. I don't mean to alarm anybody. Alice is completely fine now. But last night, so it was Tuesday night, around dinner time, I noticed that she felt kind of hot to the touch, but she's a really tough kid and she just totally brushed it off. It's like, no, I'm fine. Don't take my temperature or whatever. And she didn't seem like crazy hot, so I didn't really worry about it too much. But then she didn't want to eat dinner. I took her temperature and it was 103.8, which is the highest fever she's ever had in her 3 years. She wasn't really complaining of anything, no real other symptoms, but she was just starting to be a little bit lethargic. It was the end of the night. So we just got her to eat a little bit of something, gave her a bath, and gave her Tylenol and put her to bed. And she woke up 4 hours later. I knew that the Tylenol would be wearing off around that time, and I was going to check on her and kind of check her temperature, see if she needed some more, So right around that time, she started calling for help, and I went in there, and she was having convulsions. She was super, super, super hot. Her skin was bright red, just extremely hot to the touch, and having convulsions, kicking her legs and arms around, and her jaw was clenched, and she had these seizures, these febrile seizures for, I don't know, a minute or so. Longest minute of my life. I know a minute doesn't sound like much. I'm running out of memory, so I don't have much time. So these are actually a really common thing for kids, especially at the age of 6. Usually when kids have a fever of around 104, it has absolutely nothing to do with a seizure disorder, epilepsy, anything else like that. But it can be a sign of meningitis or something, some bigger infection. So I called the pediatrician right away and put Alice in the bath, gave her more Tylenol. She was just really weird and out of it. She kept doing weird stuff with her tongue. She was hallucinating and seeing strange things in the bath. She was really fearful, and she continued to have these little tremors. Luckily, because of YouTube and because of the mom community through YouTube I have on Facebook, I had heard about this before and heard other people mention it, and I knew that it was probably harmless. But I knew that it kind of came with the fever territory. Mike had never heard of this, and he was total deer in the headlights panic. So thank you all who have talked about this before. That's why I'm making this video, just for it to be something that you're aware of. Of course it's in all the baby books and stuff, but a lot of that is just noise until it becomes really relevant to your life or you hear a particular story. So we called the pediatrician. He said because this is the first time she's experienced anything like this, you have to take her to the emergency room. This was actually our first ER trip for either of the kids in their lifetime, which I know is really amazing, and I'm super grateful for that. Super grateful for just generally healthy kids, and that this isn't a larger thing, and that she's perfectly fine now. Thinking of all of you moms who have children with seizure disorders and other illnesses, other chronic stuff. You deal with this all the time. So anyway, so we went to the ER. We were there for about 4.5 hours, give or take. She didn't continue to have any more seizures or anything when we were there, so they couldn't confirm totally that that's what it was, and that it wasn't just super violent chills that you can get with a fever, because I guess in children they can be really crazy, look like a seizure but not be a true seizure. So in the time that we were at the ER, she responded to ibuprofen. Her temperature came down to normal range. They tested her for strep, and that was negative. So she did have some swollen glands in her neck, which they think is just this whole thing is just viral. There's no medication needed or anything. It's just a wait and see kind of thing. Normally, I am the kind of person who I believe that low fevers are good, and they should run their course, and it's your body's way of fighting off infection. That's fine. But when they get into a higher range, things can get scary really quick. These febrile seizures are not serious for almost all children. Most children are fine. But it is something you want to get looked at. So I just want to put this out there if you've never heard of this before, just to have it on your radar in your parent toolbox. They are pretty common, so it is something you might deal with, and if just somewhere in the back of your mind you might feel a little bit less scared, although it's pretty darn scary anyway. So like I said, Alice is completely fine today. She actually doesn't have a fever at all this morning. I'll just see tonight. Fevers have a tendency to spike as in the nighttime, so we'll see what happens tonight. So we got home from the ER at 4 in the morning, and my kids still woke up at 7 a.m. because even under crazy circumstances, they both hate sleeping. I don't understand it. For the past 2 weeks, I've been planning to host this huge garage sale with like 5 other families and host it here. It's 2 days from now, and now I just don't know what's happening, but like, it doesn't matter, you know? Everything's fine. I'm definitely the kind of person where if my kids are sick, my kids need me, whatever, like, everything else stops. So I'm just in a holding pattern, but I'm just so thankful everything is okay. Again, I just wanted to share with you guys so that you're aware if this is something you haven't heard of before. Thank you for your concern. See you soon.